always very interested in. The title of my conversation today is Home Economics. Ah. I'm sure everybody's in the studio now, they're all laughing, they're wondering what's home economics. I'm sure what will come first to your mind is what we used to do in secondary school. That subject where they teach us how to bake cake, no, you didn't get that right. No, and it's not about amala or fufu, pounded yam, spaghetti. No, it's not that. It's not any of those things. Home economics is, should I say it? Should I? I should go ahead. Now, if you're listening to Family Today, what I'm talking about today affects everyone. I want to talk about how you manage your finances once you are married. Home finances. That's why I call it home economics. And I'm going to open the phone lines. When I manage to be here live, I want you to talk to me, because this concerns all of you. Now, who are the people to listen to me? If you're already engaged to be married, listen. If you're married, you're in a relationship already, you're married, listen. And then let's talk about the finances of your home. I say, getting married changes your financial life in profound ways. It's not just that you're living together, because there are so many people that are living together and they're not married. So those are not the categories I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who are married and they now have to work together in their finances. Okay, it also changes your legal status. In countries where tax is done properly, it affects your tax status as well. In countries where they use credit score, I know the story of, one husband called me and said, you know what? I were not able to make the down payment for our pre-approval because my wife's credit score is horrible. And as long as they, merge the two of us together, we will not be able to get pre-approved for the house we want to buy. So even though you did not commit any offense, if your spouse is financially lousy, you're in trouble. So I want us to talk about that today. Okay? Everything you do will have financial implication. So I want us to look at a few points. Someone is chatting me saying, yes, I'm engaged to be married. So fantastic. So listen to me. Yesterday, the reason I'm sharing this conversation today was because yesterday I was online and I had a great man said it is haram for a man to have anything to do with the money that his wife makes. I had to pause and I had to rewind and listen again. I said, yes, it is haram. That it is a man's responsibility to totally, fully provide for his wife. So the wife, even if she's intelligent and can make money, the money she makes is hers. So I'm talking home economics. I got married in 1992. This year will make 31 years. That has not been my experience. That's why I want to come to the panel of my listeners on radio. Please help me. What is haram? Why is it is it wrong for husband and wife to bring their money together? If we bring everything together, why should money be a point of separation? The number to call if you want to join this conversation is 0700-923-923-923. If you're listening to me from out of the country, you can send a WhatsApp chat, +234-813-313-6193. That's WhatsApp only. But to make a call is 0700-923-923-923. So if you're a man, you would not want you and your wife to contribute to the finances of the home? I want to understand. You met that woman maybe at the NYSC camp, maybe you met at work and she is working, or maybe your business partner or associates. I want to understand. Before you get married, I want to ask this question and I want you to answer me. You can call to chat with me. Should you disclose your assets, your liability, your credit, your debit to your spouse before you marry? Yes or no? I want to know. Before you get married, financial decisions as to how much to spend on the wedding and who spends what. I also had another thing that was also yesterday. They said it is a responsibility of the father of the bride to fully fund the wedding, because once the daughter gets married, it is now the responsibility of the husband to fully fund the wife. And I'm like, this culture, where are they from? Maybe they were in the 1800s. Are they still operational now? I want you to tell me, because is that what is prevalent where you're from? I want to understand that. I want you to also know before you get married that marriage can have major financial benefits. Last month or so, I had a call from a friend of mine who is in the US. And she said, can you imagine? I got to my son's house and I started seeing female things. And I asked him, what are these things doing here? She said, oh, it's my girlfriend. I have 2 bedrooms. She's having challenges in her home. And we felt, yeah, she can share one room and I'll take the other. I will be splitting. We'll be splitting the rent. So people are making the choice on finances even before they got married. I'm like, so what's going to happen? Are they going to put a brick wall and nothing's going to happen between them? Because I am an advocate for abstinence before marriage. No ringing, no thingy. If you're not married, you're not supposed to go down. Okay? If you're not married, you're single, you remain single, also sexually. That is God's word, and that is what I stand for. So there should be no pressure that would make you to break that. So this boy started arguing with the mom and said, you know what? We needed to save money, we needed to save costs, and that's why we did this. It's also important. What are the laws that govern your marriage? What are the laws? A lot of people do not know that you can get married traditionally under native law and custom. You can marry legally by going to the registries. These registries are located in all local governments. And you don't need to have a lot of money to do that. And if you are in a church that is registered, and that church also is licensed by government to issue the same certificates that the registries issue, all you need to get is the Form C, which is a notice that the registry gives. Once you get the notice, then you bring that notice to the church, then the church is legalized to marry you. And when you marry legally, what is the implication? Another story. These people have been married for 29 years. And then the man did some wrong things and the woman just couldn't forgive. And the woman said to the man, you know what? I've got it up to here. And the man said, if you're not ready to move on, then get out of the house. The woman says, I should get out of the house? She said, of course. The house is in my name. You don't have a stake here. The woman said, the house that we built together, I don't have a stake. And you're asking me to get out of the house after 29 years? Does he have that right? What is the legal implication of that? These are the things we want to talk about. Okay? Then, before you get married, for those of you that are engaged to be married, are you going to have a conversation with your spouse about your priorities? What are your top priorities in life? And how do finance factor into those priorities? Maybe, for instance, you want to have an MBA in one of the top schools, and the MBA is going to cost you, I don't know, maybe some 10 million. How is that going to affect your marriage? Who is going to pay for it? Maybe you want to have a PhD. Who is going to pay for it? Maybe you want to have a master's abroad. How are you going to do that? Who is going to pay for it? Maybe you are, you want to write a professional exam, the CFA or ICANN and all those things. How are you going to have it funded now that you're going into marriage? Another question you need to ask, I'm talking today home economics, because people just say, I love you, and they don't know that it's beyond just I love you. You know, yeah, when all the scales fall off your eyes, then the reality will set in, and then you will realize that after marriage, they spend money. So, how do you want to work that money to be spent? Then, what are your long term career prospects and goals? You need to ask. I went for an engagement just a few days back, and I was talking to the bride to be. It was the introduction, and they live abroad. And then she said, you know, I live in this part of the city. Let's say I'm in Los Angeles and he is in Tennessee. And then we had to decide who moves. So we weighed the options. It's not about, you know, a woman must go to a man. He said we weighed the options. We looked at the tax implication. We looked at real estate investment. If we have to buy a house in LA, we need up to $1 million. And then we will not be able to qualify for the down payment. But in Tennessee, the return on investment on real estate is huge. So we decided, both of us, after prayerfully considering it, that we should settle down in Tennessee and not in LA. So what are the options? I know of a woman who was working a good job in Abuja, and the husband to be was in Lagos. And then they didn't have this conversation. She just relocated to Lagos and joined the man and lost that job. For 15 years in the marriage, it was fight every day. She entered into depression, almost became a psychiatric case, until God helped to intervene, because she felt marrying the man, destroyed her career path. You need to consider all this. Then another question you need to ask yourself before you get married is, will either of you need financial support for additional education? Will either of you also need to support your extended families? Some of you are responsible for upkeep of your siblings or your parents or something. These are issues you need to discuss before you sign the dotted line, you know. Then another question you need to ask, what about child rearing and childbearing? Will one spouse stay at home full-time or part-time to care for the children? And who would have to do that? And what is the financial implication of that? These are questions you need to ask. Then, some of you have had children out of wedlock. You want to ask, if that is your situation, how does that affect your marriage? You know, what is the financial implication of that? You know, most times, especially if it is the man that has had children out of wedlock, you think it's just normal. The wife will just come in. No, it's not normal. You need to sit down. It's called a blended family. You need to sit down and discuss. How do you blend? You need to sell that child to this spouse to be and make sure he or she accepts that person. I know a marriage that was badly wounded because of this. The man feels, I mean, you know, I have a son, you don't have a choice, but you have to accept and love him. And it was difficult for the wife too. It almost broke the marriage. Thank God they were able to salvage it. Another thing you need to talk about is, are we going, two of us going to keep doing salary job, or one of us will go into business? What is the implication of that? How do we plan our location, our career, our retirement? Okay, all these things are very important. These are all the things you need to consider before you marry. Now that you're married, you need to now ask yourself, are we going to have a common purse? Are we going to have joint accounts? Some have recommended that you have 4 accounts. I'm going to take a short break, and remember that you can get the full gist of what I'm sharing on my Instagram and Facebook page, TheFunmiJohnson. We continue this conversation after the short break.
Family Today with Johnson. It's one program that will bring you in alignment with who you truly are and open your mind to how you rock your significant interpersonal relationships while sidestepping the landmines, culture, religion, and society of in your path. Family Today with Funmi Johnson goes where others are shy to go and shines the light in the dark corners others have forgotten. Tune in at 11:30 a.m. every Friday to listen to Family Today with Funmi Johnson on Inspiration 92.3 FM.
Okay, you're back to the program. Yes, you can still join us, and I'm still waiting for someone to explain to me what is a ram and why it is going to be a ram for a man to take money from his wife. What does that mean for a modern day situation? And if you believe in this philosophy, what's the implication of that for your home? Because I know that if two people come together, marriage has economic advantage. Because now, if two of you are living separately, paying, let's say, 1 million per annum each of you, now you're living together, just paying 1.2. There's an 800,000 difference that you can spend on something else. Okay, you will use the same air conditioning, so your cost of electricity also will reduce. But of course, some prices will surge up as well. You're going to have to, maybe when you have children, send them to school. You're going to have a nanny. Your hospital bills may increase. Those are things you want to take care of. Those are the things we want to talk about today. Then I want us to know who makes the financial decision in your home. Is it that the buck stops at the desk of one person, or both of you will jointly do it? Then how many accounts do you want to have? There are different ways that people run their homes. Some people have joint account totally, where all decisions are made collectively and you have to inform your spouse before you do anything. Some have, home management account where the couple would decide, you earn 5 million, I earn 3. So you contribute 1 million and I contribute 800 into these accounts, and that's the account we're going to use for all the common things. And each person still have their individual accounts that they use for things, and they don't have to get permission from their spouse to spend that. That's another way they do it. So how do you run your home? What has been the style that has worked for you? I want you to share that with us. Let's take this call. Hello. Hello? Yeah. Good day. God bless you. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Okay, good. So let me know what's your contribution.
Yes, I'll first of all like to look at the angle of culture.
Culture.
I think, yeah, because you mentioned something about if father has to do the wedding for the son and then the son takes over, things like that. I feel personally, as when it comes to the issue of culture, though it's not 100% cast on the stone, but I think we shouldn't totally erode the value of culture, because it has a primary place in everything, even as regards marriage. Now, personally, even when I got married, at the point my wife had to support financially at that level when it came to the issue of planning the wedding and everything.
Oh, we lost that call and we were enjoying it. If you can call back, the number again is 0700-923-923-923. I want to understand the place of culture, and if you have your own experience, you can call and share with us as well. We want to know. I didn't get to know exactly what he was trying to say, but let's hope he can call back, or someone else can tell us what the role culture plays in this decision. But he was saying we should not neglect the place of culture, and at the same time that the wife supported. I want to know that. And then what's this word support? Because the support presupposes to me that you're saying that it's a responsibility of the man and the wife just supports. Is that really true? And then what exactly is this responsibility of the man? I want to know, because we're talking home economics today. The Bible says it is good for two people to come together. When they come together, they have strength and they have warmth. So if we are together and we are working towards the same goal, then is it that I'm supporting you, or we are supporting ourselves, or we're just working towards the same goal? Because I think the choice of language we're using is very, very important. It helps us to focus and know exactly our priority. If I think I'm helping you, I would think I'm doing you a favor. But if I think it's my responsibility as much as it is yours, then I won't think that I'm doing you a favor. These are all the things I want us to clarify. Please call and let's have this conversation, okay? Also, how do you save? How do you save for projects in your marriage? What are the projects? Do you consider school fees projects? Do you consider buying a land project? Do you consider building a house project? Do you consider traveling abroad projects? What are those projects? First of all, you have to agree together. The Bible also says, can two work together except they agree? A lot of people are married, but they're not working in agreement, so they're always at loggerheads. So maybe first of all, you want to agree as to what your priorities are in the home, and then you now decide what are the projects. And you can now have, let's take this call and I'll continue this discourse. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, good day. What's your name again?
Okay, my name is Paula calling from Papa.
Oh, calling from our Papa. Okay, let's have your thoughts.
Okay, in this part of the world, we see marriage as a man's responsibility, and that has really affected psyche and affected a lot of things, because we try to make a marriage as if it's foreign, but it's not. Our culture stipulates that the man should marry the wife. That's why you see some women come to the marriage empty. But recently, some are coming with their own support also now. Just like you said, support makes marriage good. But when everything is left for one person to do, it becomes a problem. It becomes a very, very big, major problem.
Are you single or married, if I may ask?
I'm married.
Okay, tell me your own experience. How has it been?
Well, it's been good. It's been good. But like I said, we need to take the orientation that it's the man that has come to marry the woman. You know, some of our girls, they call themselves Obianuju now, have come to enjoy.
Obianuju?
Have come to enjoy the world. Yes. I mean, have come to enjoy.
Okay.
So those are the things that our ladies fill themselves with. That's why it's meant to be. It's meant to be both parties coming together, like you said, agreeing that, okay, the bill is 100, a man will bring 70, you bring 30. They're both happy. But when you leave the man alone, that's why you see the death rate of men these days are very high.
Wow.
Because the bills on them are so high, and that's why you see men go as far as committing all sorts of atrocities by their wives. Yes. Go into drugs, go into all kinds of businesses just to provide for the family.
Wow.
You know, our wives need to get up from where they are and support. Support. When they support from home, the family is happy.
Okay.
Then the business that is 10 naira, the man says, I have 7 naira, you have 3 naira. Life goes on. But when someone wants to provide everything, it becomes a problem. No matter how well they is, it becomes a problem.
Thank you so very much. I've learned a new word today, Obianuju. So I've come to enjoy. I will tell my Igbo friends to explain that to me. Obianuju. I'm going to write that down. Okay, thank you for your contribution. But I want to know, I'm going to pose another question. He said, okay, if the man has 7 and the woman has 3, what if the man has only 1 and the woman has 90? Or the woman has 110? What should we do? You know, what should we do? Is that a possibility? Is that support? Or is it that the woman is usurping the role of the man? Is it out of place if the woman is very loaded, you know, and brings all the money to the family? Can the husband and wife work together on that? I want to know your contribution. I have a few things I want to share with you. I will try and do this. If not, maybe we'll continue the conversation next time. If you want to keep your marriage working, you need to track your spending. You need to know what is the income now, but you need to tell me, are we going to know the income individually, or are we going to know the income collectively as a family? You need to know. Let's take this call. Oh, we lost that. Is there something on WhatsApp? Someone said, this caller said, I concur with the last caller. Most men are having high BP and some major sicknesses because the weight of the family bill is rested on him. Emma Pawao. Emma Pawao is, don't kill us. Someone said support is highly needed. That's ID. Okay, Idowu. Okay, we have read your contribution. Is it support we're talking about, or agreement, or collaboration? Because support is still saying to me that the man saying, I'm the one that is supposed to do it. Give me support. What does that support mean? I'm sure this is not a conversation we can just end like this. It's something that we have to drill down on. I said you need to create realistic budget. I'll take this last call. No, let's just take one. This last one. Talk quickly. I have just 1 minute. Hello.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good afternoon. I'm calling from the road. Of course, traffic is bad.
Okay. So talk. What's your contribution?
I have to drop this call. I didn't know I didn't have any time, but there's just one thing I would say. The man is the head of the home.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the woman is bringing support.
Okay, that's the last bombshell. Pum. The man is the head of the home. I will throw another question for next week. Does head of the home mean that you must have more money? Does head of the home mean that you must have more wisdom? Does head of the home mean that you must have more prospects? I want us to understand that, because these are all the small issues that is causing problem. As a counselor, these are the things I see. A man said to me, how can my wife have more money than I do? And I said, when you were in school, she was more brilliant than you were. She got a job 3 years before you. Okay? When you were still a SBO, they were both working in the bank. He's already a manager. So what? I don't understand. So should she pretend that she doesn't have more money, or should she be giving the money to the orphanage so that the money that she brings to the home is less? This is not a conversation to stop abruptly. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, TheFunmiJohnson. I'm going to post this discourse, and then we'll continue same time next week. Thank you.